owner of the business, and it is because of the owner of the business that's why I am patronizing that business. Those situations play out, but the bottom line is how are you conscious to create a unique identity for your business or for your product or for the services you offer? Um, there are simple elements, that we cannot take away from. If you run a business today, a name is powerful. How have you sat down, to say, what name can I attach to my business? What's my business name? If you are trying to build something that is sustainable and you want to create a brand for yourself, you need to take out time and come up with a very, unique business name. Come out of an idea, it may come out of, some sort of conviction inside you, or you just feel like, I just want a name that when people hear it or when people read it, they can already tell the kind of service or product that this company does. Uh, Sometimes we overlook all of that, By the grace of God, we have a product that is helping SMEs today, begin with the idea of creating a business name and a business bank account in the name of their business. It may look insignificant, but it's very important. Imagine I come to you and I want to do a business of 10 million naira, for example, and I say, oh, it's time for me to pay you. Can I have your bank account? And then what you now give to me is your personal name. I would begin to worry. I may do the business with you because you've convinced me. Um, Somehow there's a bit of relationship. But why should I have a second concern, or that subconscious concern that, oh, I can't, why should I pay money into a personal account? So you need to be able to realize that, having a business name or a brand name, is part of the elements of building a good brand. How many of us think about logo? Remember, there was a time that the banks were renaming and redesigning their logo. Some of the banks you see today, the logos that they carry today are not the logos they started with, and there were reasons for that, and of course that tells us that, logos are really important. We've seen adverts, on billboards or on street lamps, where they just put an image or a shadow of a bottle, right? And they just color it. And they tell you something is coming. You can easily hazard a guess that, oh, this is probably, brand A, B, or C. I don't want to mention names on this call, but again, that means that the idea of having an image, in this case, a logo for your business is part of introducing yourself into branding, right? Personally, you probably want to focus on yourself. If you are most likely, maybe you're a service-based business, you're a consultant, right? And you have to go for meetings. People, of course, whilst you have your formal branding materials, your letterhead, the name of your company, you probably want to build a brand for yourself. That's why you hear, consulting company owners use their names, their first name and their last name. It's usually a very common trend with consulting companies, especially if they want to build that as a legacy over the years. But of course, you can also, brand your personality, how you speak, how you dress, how you engage your customers. There's a particular bank that maybe we're familiar with, but I won't mention. When you are on the queue, you go into that bank physically and you get to a customer service unit, you see a lot of people queuing out there. Somebody will walk up to you, even if you are the 50th on the queue. You just feel like you are not the 50th, because someone will always walk up to you while you're on the queue and ask you, oh, sorry, what can we help you? What are you here for? Oh, I need to sort my card issues. And they will go bring the form for you to fill right on the line. One of the things they are doing there, they're creating a customer experience for you, which is another element of branding too. What do people know you for? Are you the person that when you offer a service, a customer comes back and tells you, oh, this item it's not working again. And you say, did you see the receipt that goods sold in good condition cannot be returned? A lot, a lot of us leverage those things. But what you have done is that you have just lost a customer, that could bring you a hundred referral. Even if it could be difficult, it could be difficult situation. It's the taste, it's how you leave them, it's how you handle such situation, that really matters. And of course, those things also help you in building a business or a brand persona. Someone can look at you and say, look at your business and say, when you go there, though they may not solve the problem completely, but they will try to make, an attempt, to solve that problem. So once again, branding is the process of creating a unique identity for your business, for your product, or for your service, or even for yourself. I want to encourage and advise, if you are at that stage in your business where, you think that some of these elements are missing, you can start from here. There's a reason why people do a rebranding. That's why that word exists. I want to rebrand. I've made mistake. Oh, the competitions are stiff, right? I want to repurpose my business. I want to reposition my brand, right? I mean, influencers are doing it very well, for whatever reasons, but there are names that we can mention in different industries, in different continents, in different countries. You can always start at any point, but there are basic things. If you are really in a business that you do a lot of documentation, how you position your write-ups, how you present it, in a letterhead, how your logo stands out, and then you are consistent, the color selection, etc. Um, but of course, how to sell your brand, just to move very quickly for time, you need to know your story, what's behind what you are selling, and I think that's really a touch point for building a brand. Like I mentioned, that, trying to develop a brand is a continuous process, right? It is a continuous process and it takes a lot of intentionality. It's not that easy. There are people in our markets today, especially maybe in the fashion industry, when you see them, you know that this is the kind of clothes that they wear, whether they are wearing a cap or they are dressing with some of our African fabrics or whatever it is, But I'll tell you, if you sit down with some of them, they will tell you the kind of work that they've put to it. So you need to know your story, what's behind what you're doing, because somebody's going to ask you that I've seen this consistency around your brand over time. Can you tell us the story behind it? So you need to spend that intentional time because that's the DNA that you also translate to your staffs or to people that work with you or people that you are in partnership, with it. And in trying to build a good story, there are three things, like a guide that, you probably want to take notes in trying to craft a good brand story is, what problem are you solving? We spoke about the how to put your business in a simple sentence when we're talking about pitching, but of course it's driven by what problem are you solving? The second thing is why do you exist and what makes you different? It might not be something you will be able to answer in a week or in a month. But once you are conscious about it, you begin to take note around, these three elements. What problem am I solving in my business? Why do I exist today? Am I building a business that I just want to make money? Yes, it's for profit, but what's the long term here or what's the play here, right? And of course, there will always be competition. How do I stand out? Standing out is also repurposing yourself for branding as well, and that helps you now craft, a story around it. But I'll just dwell a bit on the why, how, and what. I was talking about an American, inspirational leader and author called Simon Sinek. He came up with the why, how, what um, elements in trying to sell your brand. I will encourage you, to look out for a book that is called The Golden Circle. Yes, The Golden Circle. The Golden Circle speaks around sales and branding, So the why, how, what, simply speaks to, this simple format. I used an example of our own business, but of course you can couch it, around your own business. Why simply means, why you exist. What's the purpose for why you exist, and then of course, how is how you do it, that's the process, right? And then what are you then selling? If you look at the first two, why, how, you're not really talking about, I'm selling, 50 bag of rice at 100K per bag. It's a 50 kg. That's really technical, right? you know. But if you say, oh, I realize that a lot of people like eating basmati rice over the regular rice. So I decided to really focus on building it because it's more, it has a health benefit, and over time, my customers have, given a good feedback. Their health has improved from A to B, which is why today, if you look at my shop, I have only basmati rice that I sell, and my prices are affordable. You know what I've just said? I've just moved across the three, but I never went straight to, this bag of rice is 110,000 naira. It's a 50 kg rice. You cannot see it anywhere. If you go to that man's shop, he doesn't sell original. This type of things happen, but you're trying to be a lot more, future forward, around what you are selling or a service that you're offering, right? Don't find yourself in a place where you are throwing spikes on other brand or other, competitors. You really don't need that. Really focus on what you're selling, why you do what you do, and then of course introduce your product. It helps you to understand better. If you look at our example here, on the why, we believe that every local vendors, deserves access to digital payments and even credits, if I may add that too, And of course, our how is, we just make it very simple, through our offline tools that is available anywhere, because somebody says, oh, you really want them to have access to lending or easy payment or build, some sort of intelligent data or business insight. Oh, that's really cool, but how do you intend to, practically demonstrate this? Which is why, we have built, this particular type of solution. And this is how we, of course, do it, So those are the concepts in your subconscious that Simon Sinek was talking about in trying to build a good branding style, especially from a product and a business point of view. I talked about Amaka's story while I wrap up. Amaka's story is a very interesting one. She had the opportunity to sit down with an investor who kind of, watched her over time and said, look, I've observed over time that you've remained very intentional. You're really focused. Your business is growing. I just want you to tell me the story behind your brand. And just like what I'm sharing right now on the screen, Amaka just said, look, I'm a founder of Sweet Treats. And if you look at that word, Sweet Treat, it already tells you something that, oh, I'm dealing with food, kind of, right? We help busy parents, give their kids healthy snacks by making affordable and nutritious lunch packs delivered daily. Look, when you look at this phrase, right, you will see that all the 5 C's in the framework I mentioned, you can find it there, right? And this is not, this is something that when anybody picks this, they can tell what you do, and it can also bring out a lot of question, or a lot of conversation, or create a willingness, or rather a call to action, around it. Amaka has a business name first, right? She would have said Amaka Enterprise, right? But she decided to say, I want to give my business a name, right? That when people first engage it by seeing it, they can tell the industry I fall into, right? And then who am I serving? I help parents who are quite busy and have kids too, that, and then of course, what is the thing that I offer, to this customer segment or to this customer audience, because it clearly means to us that she serves busy parents, who have kids, right? And of course, what is she giving to them? Healthy snacks. I think the healthy there is the value proposition, right? I don't just sell snacks, but I sell healthy snacks that someone can ask me, why do you classify your snack as being healthy? Oh, the kind of things that I put together to formulate this snack or to prepare this snack are this, and that, because like I said, bringing pitching on top of this, you want to create conversations to be able to serve better, right? And then, of course, it's nutritious and I deliver it daily. Now, that delivering daily means two things. I mean, I also stand corrected. It means intentionality and it means what makes you stand out. You know what it means to deliver, a service or a product to a customer consistently and being confident to say, whether you like it or not, any day you come, you will find it. There's definitely a secret sauce that she probably has around that business. But the bottom line is in building a brand story, you should be able to blend some unique value proposition, some pitching element, and of course, some branding element as well. I mean, most of us, we can all go back and rethink some of these things. I mean, the services we offer today, and then come up, with our own story around it. I think at this stage, I would want to um, encourage every one of us, to craft our 1 minute pitch. I would pause here and then we would then begin to take question. One of the things that, like I said before, that will create a good pitch or that forms a fantastic pitch is your ability to capture key elements, to stir up a curiosity, So there's a form that will be sent uh, in the group. Please, you can take out time to fill it, and then we will reach out to the best page with a gift. I won't mention the gift, but I think it's a way to also interact and, test some of the value that we've shared today on this call. So, I mean, just please do not forget to engage the Google form that will be shared. Thank you very much, and I'll be happy to take in any question. But I just want to leave you with just a simple word, which is just simply saying that in trying to build, a branding tactics, just for rephrasing, you must ensure that you have, a logo for your business. It's not difficult. There are a lot of tools out there that you can engage for almost free. We have a product that also helps you and force you rather to upload a logo. So you can't even come into some of our, business solution, without considering some of these requirements. And it's also to help you repurpose your business and build a brand. Are we consistent as well in the way we present our branding materials, your letterhead, your fonts, and all of those elements? Online presence is really key. What do we use our online presence for? The world has gone digital. Your first interaction with your customer is the day you mention your name of your company or your name as a person, you are almost inclined, people are almost inclined to just go and search you out. So what does your online presence, your online office, what can people read about you or about your business the moment you alter it? And it's not just even for business alone, we are in a world or in a country where the trust deficit is really huge, right? You want to try to stand out. And really, that's where branding also comes in. Your social media, do you have a website? You may not be able to build a website. How do you optimize your products and services and put it out there? There are marketplaces where you can put your product and write a story around it, and then, of course, commercialize it as well. Those are things that we can also help you from a brand business advisory point of view. The last two things, customer obsession is really key. How do you serve your customer? I spoke about a bank, a few minutes ago, that when you walk into that bank, they don't make you feel like, oh, I see a lot of queue. I'm not sure I can wait. I need to leave. Someone walks up to you and just first start engaging you with why you are here. Can I quickly help you solve this thing? It doesn't mean you won't get to you will still follow the queue, but what kind of relationship do you want to build with your customer? Or you kind of person, the customer comes back to say, I don't like this, or you laid an expectation, that doesn't look like what you promised. We need to be obsessed about our customer because that's the lifeblood of your business. Communicate regularly. Have a way to reach out to your customer. Somebody pays you for a service, and I really respect companies who do things like newsletters, or send out a WhatsApp broadcast, not just introduce what you're selling or send a thank you message, saying, look, I appreciate the last time you came to visit us, where then you can then bring in other things, those things create stickiness, my word for you is that, when your story connects, your brand sells itself. Why do we do what we do today? We do it because of the problems that we've seen, right? I do it because there's a need that needs to be filled. I do it because, I want to be able to provide value. And naturally, it translates to whatever the demonstration of a return on value is. Could be money, could be partnership, could be relationship. We will make this slide available through the LSCTF. You can go back, read through it, and then pick whatever it is that would help you set a tone for yourself as a business owner and as a leader in your business, and also for your brand, starting from the most minute thing. Thank you very much. I'll be happy to take questions. You can drop the questions in the chat room, or you might want to indicate on the call, and then I can listen in and answer as much as I can. Thank you very much.
So thank you so much, Mr. Richmond. I'm very sure a lot of participants today would have learned a thing or two from today's session. And just before we go on, I'd like to apologize again for those of us that started with us for the video that might have gotten displayed on the screen while we were while the session was ongoing. We'd like to apologize for that. It's been worked on the back end by our technical guys, and we'd like to apologize for that. So for those of us that have questions, please, you can drop your questions in the chat box while Mr. Richmond attends to them. But just before we go to the questions, I'll be launching a poll to your screen right now. Please, we need your feedback, as your feedback is very important to us. So please do well to please fill this poll that has been launched on your screen. Thank you. So do we have questions, please? So please, do you have questions, please? For those that have questions, please, you can drop your questions in the chat box. And please, the poll has been launched on your screen also. Please, your feedback is very, very important to us.
All right, we will still send the presentation deck, and for reference, if you want to go back and really look at some of the things that I've mentioned. At the same time, whilst you are filling the poll, there's also there's a form that we've also shared in case you have one or two questions, or you want us to spend some time, to just, really understand your business and advise you the way to go. Or you probably want to join our community and see what, other business owners like you, how they are interacting. You can throw questions there or even ask for support. I mean, business support in terms of, you probably have a struggle in your business. How do you solve that particular problem? Not financial struggles, please, because it's a community. But what I'm saying is you probably at a cross point where there's a difficulty in solving. Could be human capital issues. It could be, probably someone that you do similar type of business, or even partnerships that you probably want to engage with. we will be happy to do that. If you also have questions, please, you can unmute your mic, and then I'll be happy to take one or two questions. We'll drop it in the
Okay,
chat.
I think Anna has a question, so please you can go ahead to mute to ask your questions. Thank you. So, Madam Anna, if you're still on, you can go ahead and unmute to ask your question, please. So I think maybe the network has bounced her out. So please, do we have other people that have questions? You can please go ahead to unmute to ask your question, please. And thank you so much to those that have filled the poll so far. Your feedback is very important to us. So please do fill the poll that has been displayed on your screen. Thank you. Oh, Madam Anna, I can see you're back. Please, you can unmute to ask your question, please.
You can also type it if you...
And for those that might not want to unmute, please, you can type in the chat box. You can type your questions in the chat box, and I will read it out so that Mr.
Can you hear me?
Mr. Richmond. Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. Please, you can go ahead with your question.
Thank you so much, Richmond, for sharing great insight. I got value for this session. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, so my question is that if, for example, if you are somebody, you are into several things, so how do you craft a brand, or rather a pitch, in one or two sentences? Okay, so for example, I'm into HR consulting, I'm into publishing, I do trainings for women, girls. So in that instance whereby you are one person, one brand, but so many parts, how do we create a brand that stands out to in one, when you are a person of so many parts? So what's your advice on take on that, sir? That's my question, sir. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Anna. But let me first crack a joke. That's why you have ChatGPT. So, but it's fine. From what you've said, you are, a business with many portfolios. It's like saying that, and I will just give you one word that comes from at the top of my head. You're more like a consultant. You're a service, company, and you are doing, you are doing consulting. If you do HR recruitments, you publish materials, you organize trainings, and you also, offer services to women, and all that. You're a consultant. Now, in crafting, a one-liner or a one sentence, there is also that aspect where, because I'm going to speak from two dimensions, and it depends on who you are really targeting. If you're speaking to an investor, it's a different conversation, because an investor will probably say, which one gives you the real money or the real value or excites you, or that will keep you going if the business, if you are struggling in certain areas, you need to, all those things play out. But of course, in just trying to introduce your brand, out there, as a consultant and as a service company, you just practically need to first start, and it has worked for me. First start by saying, oh, we are a consulting company, that offers, value in these areas. There's no specialization on how you want to, or there's no single word. You just have to spell it out. There's also a part of branding where when people just see your slogan, they can tell what you do. So if you use the fact that you're a consulting company, right, they already know that you consult on certain things or on various levels, right? So if I was going to introduce your business to the audience I'm engaging with, oh, we offer consulting services in this, that, spelling it out, HR, human capital development, publishing and all that. It's as simple as that, right? But of course, if you want to now say, okay, I don't want people to feel like I am doing too many things. That's where you are, from your business operation. I don't know how long you probably have been running the business, right? You then have to now look at which one has given you more traction. Because in progressing that discussion, like I mentioned, you want to be able to show what we call, you want to be able to show evidence, that's your traction. So if there's any of these services that has offered you some sort of traction, then you want to position that, oh, I offer HR consulting services or human capital development, helping who? Certain type of organizations, small businesses or mid-size or large enterprise, lower their recruitment cost or time from, 3 months to a few hours, because what you have just done is you have introduced what you do, who you serve, how you do it, and the value you provide. That's just speaking through one of the components. That's because you are getting to a point where, look, I need to put a brand for my business. You get. So that's how I will see it. But as a business that offers quite a bit of cross service, you're more like a consultant, that sparks up consulting on what? On HR, on publishing materials, on, whatever specific training you offer. And that's it. It's not more than that. Then you just probably put a slogan to it. I forgot to mention the power of slogan, as part of building a brand. There are a couple of businesses that have business names and don't have slogans. Sometimes the slogan is a support. I'll give you an example. Our company is Wolex Africa, but globally we use the word Wolex. And there's a reason why we sometimes transition from Wolex Africa to Wolex. It depends on the audience, that you are approaching. And because we're also trying to move from being a local business to a global business. So we don't want that Africa to limit, the kind of people we provide services. But we also put a slogan. People just say, there's a bank that we probably know this. When you see their brand or their name, you will see a slogan called Big, Strong, and Reliable. I think the banks have done a good job to that, right? What they are telling you is that we will not fold up tomorrow. We are reliable. We've been there for years. And whatever it can mean to anyone. Why you see people put the name of their company and put the services they offer, which is what we did. Wolex Africa, you have security, you have transparency, right? And you have what we call contributions, right? We just put it there. Why? Because we want people to see, oh, Wolex Africa, what does Wolex mean? It's not something you can Google and has a dictionary meaning. No, but if I put in the slogan or the service component, which can also replace itself as a slogan, I already tell you what I do. Oh, these guys are into, this and that. Or maybe have payments, credit, and business intelligence or business insight. So you probably want to have your business name spelled out. We run a bespoke consulting service, offering A, B, C, and D, or we run a business consulting services, and use these services as the slogan, human capital development, training, and maybe publishing advisory, as the case may be. I hope I've been able to, do a bit of justice to that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay, so I trust that answers your question, Madam Anna. So please, do we have any other question? Please, if you have questions, either drop them in the chat box or you use the raise hand icon so that you can be unmuted so you can ask your question. So thank you so much to those that have filled the poll so far. Your feedback is very important to us. So we look forward to more people filling the poll. So it would seem that there is no other question. Okay, so would like to appreciate Mr. Richmond. Mr. Richmond, thank you so much for taking our time off your busy schedule to take today's session. We really appreciate all that you've taken us through today on the art of teaching and how to sell your brand. We'd like to appreciate you. Thank you so much, Mr. Richmond. And I'm very sure that we can all see Wolex, their handle in the chat box. So if you'd like to follow them, please follow them on their social media platform. And you can also reach out to them. But I'm very sure they can reach out to you via your social media platform. Am I right?
Yes, you are correct. Yeah.
Okay. So you can please reach out to them on their social media platform, and you can also follow us also on all our social media platforms. We are at LSCTF on all our social media platforms. Thank you so much, everyone that's taken out time off their busy schedule to participate in today's session. And I'm very sure we've learned a lot. Please do make it a day to join us tomorrow for another session. We'll be having a masterclass session tomorrow. And tomorrow's session promises to be another insightful one where we'll be talking about pricing. As in, I'm very sure as business owners, one of the things that we usually probably struggle with is how to, how do you set your prices? How do you ensure that even in trying to set your prices, you're not, losing out on customers that you have? And talking about everything pricing tomorrow, adapting pricing is what we'll be talking about tomorrow. So please do make it a day to join us tomorrow at 11 a.m. on our Zoom platforms. Please do follow us on all our social media platforms so you can register to join this session tomorrow. We look forward to having you at tomorrow's session. And thank you once again, Mr. Richmond, and do enjoy the rest of your day.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to do this. And I also want to wish every business owner on this call all the very best, and God be with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Richmond. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the